Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 86 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddies slash co-hosts, Thomas and Justin. Donnie, wherever you are out there, hello. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all siblings in cardboard. Guys, some big things have changed. Some might say some new developments. Let's talk about them. That was my
the new
best
jokes are
representation
done.
of like
we
good,
get to finish with them. We're free.
Good bad pun. Yeah, free of what though?
I guess Mistveil.
Oh, well, yes, Mistveil's gone. We did it, team. Proud of all of us.
Oh, that's right, all three. Wow. Wow, we're gonna have to look into that. Was that the fastest that all three heroes from a set have gone?
Yes, because the only other set that's lost all their heroes is Tales of Aria, and Briar went out the slow hard way.
Right. Wow.
Actually, Lexi went out the slow hard way. Sorry, she needed outsiders really badly.
I mean, they both went out kind of the slow hard way. Oldhim was really dominant, and Icelander was meta defining. The other two had to get support.
It always throws people. She's from Uprising.
Uprising. Yeah.
Yes.
Icelander's from Uprising.
I know. It's still stupid. She should have been. I don't know. I got a tinfoil hat theories about her. There's lots of those.
They had to have something to make that set draftable. So.
Well, where there's fire, there's also ice at the same time. Everybody's fire-based except for Icelander.
Dude, the worst part is the lore about why she's there in the middle of the rebellion is, I don't know, she went through some magical portal and showed up in the middle of it. It's like, that's it. That's the whole lore on it.
That's the lore?
That's the lore.
It's like, okay.
But that's an oops should have been in Tails moment right there. And they were like, ugh, just...
Yep.
Well,
she took the magical portal from Tales of Aria straight into the Uprising
lore?
set. No, I haven't.
His lore is, I want a drink. Like, that's it.
That's it. He just hops on a pirate ship because he wants a drink.
No, he got like mutinied. He was like the captain. And then he decided being captain sucks. Being drunk is awesome.
What is he? He's the stowaway scurv or something like that?
Yeah.
Scurv, stowaway. I don't remember.
He's kind of cool.
I think they got some inspirations from Jack Sparrow, obviously.
What? No way. Stupid scurv.
Jack Sparrow has an octopus? No, I mean, it's close enough.
I mean, Davy Jones had an octopus face.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
was
crazy.
JV Jones robbing people for...
Or not Davy Jones. Barbosa. Sorry. Barbosa had an octopus face. Okay. But anyway, Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood. The real Flesh and Blood with pirates now, not Pirates of the Caribbean.
So I only played one game that mattered the past week. I played the League That Means Nothing. I switched off Levia because she got absolutely zero playable cards. Sea Legs is interesting, but the deck building contention that she has to deal with being a Shadow Brute is already too high. There's never an opportunity where you can like correctly discard Sea Legs where you wouldn't just want to discard a beast with it instead.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what draw discarded stuff do you have besides like Pulping Wild Ride?
Pulping, Wild Ride, Blood Rush Bellow. I actually like the one that makes an agility token. I forget its name. I run like two of them. It's not Pound Town, it's the other one. Assault and Battery.
Oh, Assault and Battery.
Yellow Assault and Battery's solid. Then you've got Sigil of Cycles.
Cycles. Okay, that's where you would show up with Sea Legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super conditional.
But you could also just discard Beast with it instead, or put good cards into your graveyard that you want to get on the flip. Sea Legs ain't it. Yeah. I think usually if you really, really need an action point in Levia, you're just gonna have to click the boots. I mean, you've got Dread Screamer, you've got a lot. You've actually got a good bit of go again.
You got a lot of go again in that
compared
deck.
compared to other brutes. You can have the
Boots
most
win
go
games.
I mean, they block 3, so blocking 3 is good. She's still got an absolute fridge, and the chess piece is broken, both of them. But Gravy is a matchup I don't want to deal with with her.
Nope.
So it's mainly because of Chum. Like you play Blood Rush Bellow and you go, oh, I'm sad because if I didn't make a Might token somehow the turn before, I'm going to throw 2 Claw Swings into the 6 power or the 6 health minion. It's just really awful. So I switched to Stash IO. She got 3 new cards. Cog in the Machine.
And what else?
That's it. Those are the 3.
3 copies of the one card. But that one card's a big deal. That one card's a real big deal.
It is. Crazy. As soon as your opponent sees it, they go, oh, I can't fatigue you. And the whole game changes. Like if you're gonna play slow, I'm gonna play slow, and I'm gonna play these Cog in the Machines and shoot you for 2 and 2. Then we're gonna get to the end game, and if you're at less than 10 life and I'm at more than 10 life, I'm going to start shooting you for 2 over and over again until you run out of cards. And it scares people.
Yeah, as an outsider looking in, like I'm really interested by Dio. Just like if you're able to handle the fatigue states better, you're the best aggro deck, and if you can handle the fatigue states, that's a really interesting place to be.
I think if you look at it, it's a 0 cards out of deck, 1 cost 4 attack. That's split across 2 2s. So even playing it is just part of your normal turn cycle. It's solid. It's not the best.
It's like tap.
I mean, it makes Max V worse, but so did like Teklo Pounder and BIOS Update. Anyway, I played against a Rhinar, and with Rhinar, you kind of have to like side as if they're going to be fatigued, because they could be. And sometimes they even have the ability to switch between aggro and fatigue. They can just put all their non-blocks into their sideboard and bring in a bunch of D-reacts and stuff. So you bring in a little bit of the fatigue package. Luckily, it's not just a giant fat deck anymore. I only ran 68 cards into them. Usually you're running like 72. And it was not fatigue. He was trying to beat the crap out of me. But what's awesome is now that you have Cog in the Machine, you look at your hand and be like, I don't feel bad about blocking. So every time he was throwing like Splatter Skull at me, threatening to like permanently get rid of a card, I was just like, okay, I'll block 6.
Nice.
Yeah, having that extra recursion is nice.
He dropped me to 3, or I intentionally dropped to 3. And I was like, just don't double Reckless Swing me. And of course, literally the next turn, he Reckless Swings me to 1. And I'm like, okay, just don't Reckless Swing me 2 turns in a row. And he didn't. Instead, he drew a Pulping and a Wild Ride and just died out of hand.
Yay, no blocks. We'll take it. Good win.
It was a good win. It was a fun game too. I was feeling a little bad because he was just like really hitting the Blood Rush Bellows, and I went second, and my turn was literally play Cerebellum Pass on second because the top card of my deck was Cog in the Machine, and I'm like, yeah, I still don't know what type of Rhinar he's playing, even though it's Claws. I'm going to be very cautious here, and so I just played Cerebellum Pass, knowing that I could use Cog in the Machine the next turn to draw a card. But that was my flesh and blood for the week.
Nice. I have not played in paper. I have just been working on Gravy in the background and then like compiling data because that's what I do in the off season. But I think this exploration section of Gravy has been a lot of fun. Now that I don't have like any stress to work on him, although he is very strong. And that might be helping this exploration period because everything feels busted. And I'm just like, oh, this is a strong thing to be doing. And this is a strong thing to be doing.
I think there's some exciting avenues to explore now that Nu is gone. Because she did there's like just some strategies you can't do, knowing that like 5 to 10% of the room is going to be Nu.
As Gravy or as just like decks in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, like I'm with you there then.
I think there's a design space, right? That you kind of have to build around.
All Guardians get dramatically better.
Like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about all the new stuff. But has there any new developments in the market happen?
Yeah. I also want to say that I've been in the lab cooking. That was a good pun and a good transition.
How about that?
The affiliate links.
Have you been cooking some affiliate links?
Yeah, I have been cooking some affiliate links.
There
You
we
can
go.
get crazy cards like this one I'm going to show you, Escalate Bloodshed, using our affiliate link. That's right. So there's going to be a link in the description. And all you have to do is click the link, takes you to the TCG player. You check out as normal. You don't do anything else. You don't spend anything. You don't log in. Well, you log into your TCG player if you want. But for any of these cards we're going to talk about, click the affiliate link. If you do, we really appreciate it. It does help support the pod. We'll throw it into technology, stream tech, whatever it may be, to kind of make it better.
A gravy deck.
A gravy deck. We'll redo the intro.
Get a whole
we'll
5
do it big, I
cents from
promise.
Escalate Bloodshed. Every Escalate you Bloodshed you buy through our affiliate link will give us a nickel.
And then
I had
there's
a nickel
also...
for every time someone bought Escalate Bloodshed.
Okay,
I'd have 1 nickel.
Which is weird, but I have a nickel.
215 have sold. Whoa.
People like this card.
Okay,
It's real.
okay, hold on. The low sale price of Escalate Bloodshed is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. Someone bought a Escalate Bloodshed on TCG Player for 2 cents.
This
Dude,
card's
they got
going to go
ripped off.
places.
That's a Majestic.
That's funny.
This is a real card for real problems not yet introduced into the game. It's called Warrior's Worst Nightmare. There's a deck out there that draws a bunch. I don't know. Don't worry about it. I believe in this card. For later, not for now. Other than that, though, I've just been playing a little Marlin in terms of Flesh and Blood. Not in paper, though.
What version? Manta or Harpoon?
Manta. No, I want to do the Manta. I think it's the better way to play. I can't get off the pumps. I feel like those pumps are in the game. You might as well play them. So we're trying to work on something.
I'm going to show you a Riptide.
I feel like it's criminal.
Later.
I don't know if I want to play Riptide.
Dude,
I don't think I don't
if you
want
like
to
Manta
play
Marlin,
Riptide. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, look at your deck and think about how many pirate cards there are. It's like 9 golden tipple. And that's it.
That's about it.
That's all you need, though, because Golden Tipple is Zephyr Needle Plus.
Golden tipple's really good.
That card's
Pretty
sick.
damn good.
I don't know. Marlon needs some love. We'll figure it out.
But Escalate Bloodshed aside, cooking in the kitchen aside, let's talk a little bit about. I mean, we're going to talk a little about high seas, but let's not start off with how expensive are these cards with our new development in the meta that we're going to keep saying over and over again. But in all seriousness, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people potentially looking for a different home, looking for other heroes to play, and we're trying to see how the market is taking it. I do want to point out that there are some upsides to kind of what the market's doing right now. So Command and Conquer, the Arcane Rising, is down to $72 for the original art of it. I think $69 for the white border. It's probably the lowest we've seen it. It's a little fabricated because there's only 1 or 2 at the price. But I do still think that it will continue to fall. Obviously, if it doesn't, we have to try and chalk it up to new players because they want their Command and Conquers too. But to juxtapose that with the Hunted Command and Conquer, which barely has any listings, there's a total of 5 actual listings and maybe 10 cards total, and they start at 107. So it is a very drastic difference between the two Command and Conquers. And completely opposite what we've seen and what I'll take a look at here for the Codex of Frailty. So that new Codex of Frailty, I know we talked about it last week, but I just like to give credit where credit's due. Down to $45, and even the Outsiders one down to $49. So $49 for the Outsiders, $45 for the remake. It's starting to bring it down. Probably a multitude of reasons. So now one less deck. Probably a lot of people maybe moving on. If they don't want to play Assassin, they're going to relinquish those frailties. Ranger might lose another Ranger. So there will be a couple of decks that won't be using them. So I do think we will actually continue to see a fall in Codex of Frailty, which is good. Getting it down to a $30, $35, maybe even lower Majestic, which will be crazy considering what we had just 2 months ago. So some good news, right? High seas prices might be absolutely crazy, but
actually high seas prices looks really reasonable for singles other than the allies.
And
other than gravy stuff and the amulets that may or may not matter, which is pretty much all of them. I mean, Diamond exclusively,
Diamond is dumb.
Can we just agree that card shouldn't exist?
It's just a time snap potion, guys.
I'm fine with it existing. I'm just guys, it's not. Why is it this expensive?
The only one
I
that
don't know.
introduces a new thing into the game is the is it Opal, the one that gives you an extra intellect?
Sapphire.
Sapphire. That's the only one that's like a really truly new like power concept as far as like spending 2 action points over the course of 2 turns to go up to like a 5 or 6 card hand.
Yeah, but that card's sick. I love that card.
Yes.
So I'm going to play that card as much as I can.
Sick.
Yeah, Sapphire's great. I love Sapphire. Not biased at all with Kano. But anyways,
But it's a good thing you brought it up. I mean, just getting into the amulets. I mean, Diamond's sitting at 98. You've got Punamu, which is the one that gains life, is sitting at 45. Whether or not it's really at that price, it just seems really high. And then Ruba Amulet sitting at 49.
The amulets are pretty rare, and some of them are quite good. Like a 4th health potion inside of Verdance it's actually kind of insane. Like if you've watched that deck, the combo is wild. Like I watched someone Oasis have 2 Oasis Respites, 2 blues to pitch, and still like take like 90 total damage to a Verdance combo.
depending on how the Verdance wants to do it, each health potion is either 6 or 8 health on the combo turn. Or like 6 or 8 damage. And that obviously just like keeps going on. And then if you like Sergeant it, all that doubles.
Yeah, Sergeant.
So then it becomes either 12 or 16, which is obviously good. It's like Energy Potion Plus in Kano.
Ruby Amulet. That's for Japanese. It's 49. It's actually 148.99, but it's not selling, so I wouldn't buy it for 148.99 either. That's the
I
break
would
it
not
for 2
buy
resources.
a single amulet right now.
Nope. You wait until James White says, or LSS announces this second wave has officially come out, which LSS, whenever it happens, please announce it so people will be less panicky.
Yeah.
And you just buy it then.
I think all of the ones that are being played, so the life gain one, the resources one, the intellect one, and the action point one are all ridiculously overpriced.
I can believe it. I got my Sapphire and Ruby amulets. Great Pokemon games.
They are.
For like, I want to say I got them pre-sale at like 15, 20. Something like that. I don't know. I should have grabbed a diamond and the healing one at the same time. I knew I was going to want those at some point.
I mean,
That was an obvious one.
It does feel bad. Like, that card is pretty critical in Gravy for getting over people just trying to kill your allies every turn.
Yep.
Speaking of Gravy and the allies, just quickly noting the allies that are the bulk of your buy. And this is all normal allies. This is not Marvels or anything of that matter. But looks like Chum is your most expensive ally at 26.
Yep. It's going to set you back like $80 to get a play set of him.
And then it looks like Whaler is at 16.
But the other
one... Go ahead.
I will say the other Majestics aren't terrible, right? Like Chart's a $6 card.
Give No Quarters
Quarters
expensive.
Give
Is
No
it?
Quarters 26. Yeah. And then
Why?
I think they're
know.
playing 3 CNCs, right? Like the new Conquer.
I'm
Oh
not even
yeah,
sure-
Conqueror's going to be expensive.
I'm not even sure I like Give No Quarter after I've seen how like Gravy operates. Like, the card is good if you're trying to like double ally pass, but every other time the
Cut it down to
card
2.
I'd rather play like one of the ones from the pre-con that says when an ally hits this turn, you're gonna discard a card or lose your arsenal.
Oh, I hate those cards too. I think there are just better things to be doing. But like, I don't know. It's a good 2 of, but I'm not playing 3 right now. It's like the number of times that you actually get the resource value out of it is not that high.
Yeah, you have to play 2 allies for this card to like really get its like full value. Even at like you play 1 ally, the value's okay because you can like do a a zero pitch chum, right? If you like draw a card, discard an ally, activate dead threads, play give no quarter, you can do a zero pitch chum. Which is
you can get a 1-card chump, which is good.
yeah.
But you could also do that with chart.
Chart is luck based though.
Yeah, it's a little more conditional, and I'm not saying play 3 charts, but I don't know. So give no quarter is not a $20 card. That's what I'm getting at. It's a fun card, but not that good expensive.
Which that was on the list, so when I get to it, we'll move it off. I felt like gravy was going to be a hot commodity, so I wanted to kind of get through the gravy cards.
Oh, indeed, gold baited hook.
We're getting a gold baited hook. And then just to take a peek at the armory deck, I mean, it is still available for $62, but I mean, people are individually buying the allies. So $14 for Sawbones, or for $4.52 for Anka.
Stop doing that, people.
Oyston
Shame on all of you.
is $12.79, which is weird. He's a rare, and he's more expensive than the Anka.
It's because usually you don't run 3 Ankas. You do run 3 Oystons, though. The card is solid.
And then Loot the Arsenal is $5. Wow. Just buy the armory deck. I mean, they're up there for like $60, I think. Still $62, which is not that bad. Not that bad considering buying all these separately. Don't do that. Just buy the armory deck. But speaking on gold baited hook, the gold baited hook rainbow foil is $85, which is actually pretty high for an arm piece. It's a really good arm piece, but that's pretty high for a pirate. So we're not even talking generic pirate equipment arms. The treasure one kind of bringing in the rear at $173. So both of those cards pretty expensive.
Wait, the cold foil is only $173?
Yeah, from the treasure pack, it's only $173. It's twice as expensive, which is not usually how the cold foil from rainbow foil ratio works. But $90 for a pair of gloves that only has 3 classes in circulation is pretty crazy.
What would the comparison be? Like bark skin?
Knives?
Flick knives.
In terms of price. I mean, like in terms of price.
The Arc Knight?
I'm trying to think of, like, it's clearly core to the class, but also like a small subsection of talents essentially are using it. So that's why I think like bark skin might be the good comparison.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Like,
it's
like
good,
Puffin's not going to be playing it.
It's good. What would you play instead in Puffin?
Tinkerings.
The Tinkerings, for sure.
I could see an argument for running gold baited hook. Not a huge argument, but making gold in that deck sucks.
Sucks, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
And so Tinkerings is kind of like you're like really all in. Like you make that one cog and you're hoping that you really get
better
value
do a
out
lot.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We start royal.
Although I would definitely just play Tinkering over spending $85 on gold baited hook because it does block too.
Yeah. And Marlin is probably using the hook.
Yes,
maybe.
I've seen versions run bullseye bracers, but I think overall cracking like a gold to make a harpoon is just such a high value play in so many play lines that gold baited hook is just worth it like every time.
Gotcha.
Like every time you draw a tipple, you just crack gold plated hook because like your opponent has to block some little doo-doo 2 attack or you get 2 gold instead of 1 off of your 1 gold you spent to make the harpoon to discard to the tipple.
That's pretty good.
So along that same lines of equipment, what do you guys think Dread Threads is then? Both in treasure and in rainbow.
But it's the same.
I bet it can't be more than the hook.
Like the whole kit's just going to be like $80 a piece.
So Dread Threads is roughly about 80. I mean 76. So right up there if you round it up. The treasure pack was around and selling for at highs of 324, and then it slowly crept down. It is now 240 for the cold foil for the treasure pack, so almost 3 times the amount
It's the booba tax.
of the rainbow foil. It is the booba tax.
You all need to see somebody. That ain't right.
1,000%. We know it. Everybody knows it. It's on the card. There's 2 skeletons that know it right there on that card art. Everybody's aware of it. The card art is fantastic.
Good art.
Yeah.
Great effect. Just come on.
All right. What's next?
Now you know what we're going for.
Yeah.
What's the fabled price?
Oh God, I went and
Is
looked
it
it
400 yet? Is it 500? Is it
No.
400 yet, or is it 500?
It hasn't hit 400.
Okay.
It hasn't hit 400.
It's
Getting there.
It seems very locked in at 350 though. Which I said this is a generic fable that we do not know the extent of how playable it is. This is going to be the most expensive fable by far, because I don't think the price goes down. I think as we distance our way from this set, the price is only going to go up, just like the other generic fables.
I think your only argument would be like Heart and Eye can go higher because they're part of like the original Trinity, but that's like that's like a collector thing.
They're so specific though. Like Heart of Findle is only going to find itself into like fatigue decks and stuff, and Eye of Ophidia is a solid blue pitch. It's like the best blue pitch in the game, right? Being able to choose your top 2 cards.
Yeah, I agree. It's just one of those where it's like, if you're a collector type and you're trying to walk into the game, right? Like that's the easy first thing that you find out about is those 3 fables.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Heart and Eye will always have contention to kind of wrestle around as the most expensive. Heart right now is very, very low. Just hasn't found its way in the meta. Eye of Ophidia is completely opposite. I think it's 450 pushing 500, but I think there's a lot of holding going on to that card. I've seen quite a few binders where there's like 30 or 40 Eye of Ophidias, which is kind of crazy. There aren't that many fables in rainbow foil to have about 30 or 40 of them. That's quite a large percentage of the population when you think of how like low printed those unlimited sets were, and then you have to think about the pull rate of those fables. So especially Eye, because our Arcane is a wacky set.
I think
but it has sold above 400, but it has not hit 400, the new fable.
I think the best thing to compare Riches to is actually Light of Soul, except that Riches is generic, but Light of Soul is like build enabling, right? It enables Prism to like have chances in the matchups that just want to soul deny her, where Riches of Tropple, Donnie, like says you need to create gold and someone's trying to gold starve you in some way. This just like turns on the gold train.
You're in, yeah.
Or like Kasai, where the difference between your second gold and third gold is a big deal.
Same thing with Victor, right? Every gold you get just makes the cast Mount Holmes just get crazier and crazier.
360. I'm sorry. I have to point this out. Almost like I feel like they know I'm gonna point this out. Somebody has one listed. It's the highest priced one. It's obviously a joke. Maybe it isn't. For $69,420.69. So shout outs to you, whoever that is, for locking down that price point.
I've seen this. I think the person who's doing it the other time, Credos Emporio, it was the same one. Yeah.
So big shout outs, because that's funny. Way to keep it humorous. But yeah, pretty much 360 on its way to 400, if not slightly goes down and then kind of goes back up. This is something you're just going to have to consider every new card that comes out, every new set, new hero. It's pretty wild.
Should have been a Pyrus resource.
It should have been. It should have been. Maybe that's going to be one of those blunders. They wait for a dev talk down the road. And then trying to get into like a couple of cards, one of them being on the upswing, and then kind of one of them a little surprising. Prismatic Leyline is the card that's on the upswing, up 130% on a 1 month high, 206% on a 3 month. I know I'm seeing a lot. Like, wait, what?
From $4 to $8.
No, it's up to 15 to $20 now for Prismatic Leyline. So it's at 12 right now, but we've seen sales as high as $20 for rainbow foils, and some non-rainbow foils as high as 15.
I feel like every deck that could possibly play Prismatic Leyline just plays dual threat better. And that deck is Ira.
Gravy. Gravy plays Prismatic Leyline. Because one copy of it top 8'd a calling, and the other one top 16'd US Nationals.
I guess it's a pretty funny haha one copy that could surprise your opponent when you just rip, like, what, 6 value out of nowhere?
Talking to Summers about it, it's... You don't get the red one. Like, you don't get the red part of it because your deck is so, like, yellow-blue heavy in the version that plays Leyline. And so... But it's a 1-card 5 that helps you stay on math with the ninjas. And that was, like, their thought process. I was like, all right, sure, whatever.
It's fine. I'm not surprised it went up.
Fine.
We have decks that want to play blues and yellows.
Yep.
Now, are you surprised this card is going down? Balance of Justice. With all this card draw, why not balance? Or I guess supposed card draw.
Jimmy class specific headpieces and stuff.
And head slot's really contested for a lot of classes.
It is.
Crown of Providence says, Gravy, you don't get a gold and you don't destroy my arsenal.
Crown of Dominion says, Gravy, you get a gold. And just end the sentence.
Yeah.
There's New Horizon for some of the Rangers, right?
Yeah, New Horizon for the Rangers. The Assassins really like either Crown of Providence or Mask of Deceit now.
Rune Blades are running Face Purgatory.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good.
Like,
Acilio, because nobody cares about him, is playing a Draft Chaff common.
So it's kind of been relegated to a very, very specific,
it's like, do you have sideboard
piece.
space and you think you're going to run into Dash IO and maybe like Kasai sometimes,
or a Brute.
Yeah.
or Brute.
Yeah.
One of the lists that top 8'd this calling that just happened was on Balance of Justice, but he was also on 11 equipment. So take that with a grain of salt.
Speaking of a grain of salt, this is probably a terrible kickover, but it doesn't matter. Why don't we give our grains of salt on what the new meta is going to be after new is gone? Because that's all I have for the market minute. I will say Guardians. We're going to talk about it. But
Eyes
I think
on Guardian
Guardians
cards.
I think eyes on Guardian cards. Obviously, because of Guardian Master Set, we keep talking about this, but now really eyes on Guardian cards. And then Brute always, because I just think those Brute cards are crazy. That headpiece is, Scowling Fleshback. Let's be real, like the Brute version too. Another headpiece contesting Balance of Justice. And then those arms are just crazy good. So
what changes with new gone? That's the topic.
that is the topic.
There was a
New
calling
is gone.
Bologna, and New won it.
And she is gone.
Yeah, she is officially gone at this point.
The actual end of Mistveil is here. I think a lot of people are feeling like good riddance. I think Zen was their big oopsie, but the other two decks were only just a little too strong. It's like Siren's Call and Miragai, right? Those were the cards that like made me want to rip my hair out. But nothing else on the kits of either class like really drove me crazy.
I don't know. I just felt like they all did the powerful thing a little too well. And Traverse, anytime like they block with Traverse in any of those decks, you're just like, oh god, here we go again.
Yeah, they're their power spikes, right? Like I agree, like they were big. Like when they cashed in, they cashed in. Like it wasn't like a little bump.
They did have the two most powerful headpieces in the game. Like
Yes.
Traverse it draws the best possible blue for the three decks, if any of the three decks using it, and then New was the one who used it the least, and she basically had like the ice legendary headpiece, but it's at reaction speed.
Yeah, I think once they revisit Mistveil, I kind of want them to ban like 4-ish chi, maybe 5 might be the right number. If they keep Traverse around, or get rid of Traverse altogether, which is probably the cleaner solution. But I don't know. I also don't like... I'm not going to miss chi, is one way of saying it. Because Mask of Recurring Nightmares is exactly what its name says it is. I hated that card because you math through the new lines. Like playing versus Mario and Slippy versus playing against new just feels night and day difference, because Mario and Slippy, they have two options: go tall, go wide, right? New had three options: go tall, go wide, take your cards. And you can account for two out of those three directions usually pretty well. Accounting for the third one was almost impossible, depending on like whichever direction you wanted to go.
It's like new only had two ways to block her. It was like no blocks or lay literally your entire hand in front of the attack.
Yeah.
So
good riddance. I don't miss her. I won't miss her at all.
Sure, I don't mind her being gone. I hope people are ready for Guardians to completely change their lists to be much more efficient and much more annoying. Because all those blue attacks that they weren't going to run because new would just dog pound them with them are now coming back in the deck.
Okay, so we're gonna do the Guardian talk now.
Yeah, because I think that's who gets the most meta space off of new being gone. She completely suppressed the Guardian class.
She did completely suppress Guardians. However, are we really excited for Blue Thunderquake, Blue Macho Grande? Like, is that what we're actually excited for Guardians?
I mean, dude, okay, I'm not going to say that a Guardian player doesn't look at, like, his deck list and look at paint drying and, like, kind of compare the two and think they're both equally exciting.
Fair enough.
But, I mean, they do. Guardians have really good, like, dopamine response, right? Because... just man, oh, it's a blue that swings for 7. That's hot.
Yeah, like maybe I'm just reformed now, and maybe I should just sell all my Guardian stuff at this point. But I'm like, I don't know. Like I've seen like Persuasive Prognosis, right? I've seen Throw Dagger. Throw Dagger is a crazy blue, right? When you think about it. I've seen Chart the High Seas, Murderous Rabble. Why do we have 3 go again at blue?
Murderous Rabble is kind of wild.
Like,
and glad
seen,
that's
like,
a pirate card. Wow.
Like, we've seen Battalion Bark, right? Like, or even, let's go to last set, right? You had the stupid, you had like some really strong blues in there, like Reaper's Call is just like, or the Trapdoor one, like, those are both like really just like strong blues just because they can be. And we're comparing that to like a 3-card 8, and that's like our excitement.
Hold on. But we've all lost to Macho Grande Blue, right? We've all
I
lost
was
to
going
it.
to say
Macho Grande, yes. Macho Grande is
essential.
Kind of the exception. But like my point being is just that it's like the issue with Guardian is still exists, right? Where they finally get tempo back because they CNC pummel you. You have an anemic turn. They draw up their next hand. And now that their blues actually do something, they get to throw a, look at it, do the math real quick, 3-card 8. Vanilla.
Yeah, but a 3-card 8 that disrupts a little bit's pretty good into like a lot of aggro decks that need their 4 or 5-card hands to function.
Which one of the 3-card 8s are disrupting?
Let's see.
Cranial, and that's it?
Yes, Cranial.
The rest of them are vanilla. One. Yeah, like Cranial is like actually genuinely like good to get back, and Macho is fine for
what's
as a
the
closer.
one from the round the table?
Oh, Boulder Drop.
Yeah, Boulder Drop. That one's good.
That's
too.
a blue. That's a 5.
Yes, but it's good.
Yeah, I guess okay. You can run that card again. That card's fun to run again.
Boulder Drop's good.
Boulder Drop's good.
Boulder Drop's good. Boulder Drop's fine. It's exactly.
You could
fine.
not
Yellow
run that
Boulder
against
Drop.
new. Like anytime you get a Boulder Drop
no.
in your banish, you go, "Oh God, I'm gonna lose to this card."
Yeah, you had to block that thing out pretty extensively. Yeah, I don't know.
We're not talking like big winners, but like Guardians feel like they get the most, I guess, deck design space, and the only one I would personally think is Azalea, just because I didn't like the new versus Azalea matchup very much.
So we were just looking at the stats. I didn't realize how favored that was for new.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either.
Azalea can't block. So the second you have like your power cards and she's like, guess what? I'm going to take 3 of them. You're like, well, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, because I can't block it all out. So I'm either going to give you my whole hand, do nothing, and you're just going to like take it the next time. I don't know.
Also,
I just don't block
she
her.
throws a red in ledger and New goes, sure, whatever.
Yeah, the biggest bonds of agony you've ever seen. Give me your arrow.
Yeah. And then you throw battering bolt and she goes, sure, whatever, and just plays all her stuff right there and gets it out of her hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at Fabry, like the meta tab, which isn't like the end all be all. It is not numbers Jesus, but it is a good outline, right? Like it is a general good identifier. It's not perfect. It looks like the classes that do gain the most are Guardians, yes. Wizards is another huge winner of New being gone, and Brutes. Brutes the other one. Like both KO, Levia, and, well, actually KO, Levia, and Reiner all
Yes.
just seem to have done very poorly into New.
Dude. Levia into New is pretty miserable. She doesn't even like try to disrupt your hand. She doesn't care. She literally tries to disrupt your graveyard. She just keeps putting all your graveyard into your banish, so none of your cards work.
You get 2 cards in your banish or in your grave, or you finally get that 3rd card in your graveyard, and they just pass over it. You're like, oh,
Dude,
thanks.
No,
I appreciate it.
I had them play the
Bonds of Attraction against you, and you have to block it.
Yes, and not only that, you're blocking it with cards that then
ew.
get put into the banish zone. They don't even go into the graveyard. And then
Because
I've also had like a New kind of just raw cast her Sacred Art at me and just be like, I see you're on 3 cards in your graveyard over there. I bet you think you're going to have a pretty good turn. How about you just take 12 blood debt because you now don't have a graveyard? And I'm like, cool, that was fun.
Good design.
I don't think it's necessarily bad design. I think it's just an unintended consequence of someone who has mastery over graveyard and banish zone playing against someone who uses her graveyard as a resource.
Listen, if they've given people so many tools to deal with Wizards, they should have given us tools to deal with MST. Besides just rotating it, I'm just saying. I'm not bitter.
Vincent got better. That's another hero.
Are you running Blue Deathly Whale again? And
no.
else?
Dude, Blue Deathly Well usually stayed in the deck anyway. If she's gonna use her action point to throw 4 at you, whatever. It's widespread annihilation. Like, you could not. You had to like, oh well. I hope I didn't really rely on this blue ratio to make my deck work, because those 3 cards are not coming in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Guardian Mastery Pack, as weird as it sounds, is going to do a lot more for Guardians than New leaving, just because like their blue base needs such an overhaul.
Yeah,
and that's my big frustration with that class right now. Like Jarl, sure, he may or may not add a couple of the 8s back in just so he can have some blue poppers versus Prism, and like an occasional play, but like he's still really happy with playing the Earth and Ice cards.
Oh,
and Imposing Visage.
That's funny. Prism is a loser both ways, isn't she? Her New matchup was... Actually, that was one of the ones that New was bad into, right? No, Prism's just a loser here. She lost a decent matchup, and everyone who took all their blue poppers out can put them back in.
Yeah, Prism loses from this, for sure. Like, Brutes getting freed a little bit is never fun for Prism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although Wizards coming back is great for Prism. This might be Hot Wizard Summer, by the way. I can't wait for this.
Hot Wizard Summer.
Hot Wizard Summer.
David Verdens looks great. Acilio is great. Kano is great. Come on.
Get your
LSS, you missed out on...
compliances.
You could have had Kano and a Speedo for an alt art.
Could have been true Hot Wizard Summer.
That would have been Hot Wizard Summer, absolutely. I would have needed that one. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting to see where it goes, because I think Azalea is the other one that's kind of holding it down, because those are like the 2 jail decks, right? And it's anybody who's been stuck in jail or hates being put in jail is suddenly very happy.
So
Influx of Guardians, I don't think Azalea is going to be like over the moon with too. If Guardians kind of come back.
Let's also remember that it doesn't matter what Azalea's over the moon with. She's currently getting double Living Legend points, and we're in national season, and
Oh yeah, she's gone.
She's got to win like let's see, what obscure country can
she
I
just
pick
needs to
this
win
time?
2 nationals. And
Are we playing?
she's gone.
Are we playing Flesh and Blood Nationals in Trinidad and Tobago? Because she might just need to win that one, and that's it.
So the season has already kicked off with a high seas winner, Arthur Trehay. Picked up a win on Gravy Bones at the Battle Hardened Bologna. So Gravy Bones in his second weekend is already more successful than Betsy Skin in the game.
He was more successful his first weekend. He picked up a win literally week 1.
Did he?
Yeah, Brody won the battle harden on him.
Oh, that's why it's like an odd number. Okay, so no, Betsy had 4 points. And I don't know, how many points did he get from that battle harden?
Battle hardens would have been 2.5 each.
He's at 13 points now. I think this weekend pushed him into a tie with Arachne Huntsman.
He's up there with legends.
Dude,
He's had
Tech
4
Levossen's
legal
got him
events
beat.
that he could have won.
Tech Levossen's doubled his points.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gravy's so strong.
Four legal events and he won 2. That's actually pretty crazy.
Yes.
I mean, they were the battle hardens, but like Gravy Bones is poised to be a problem. Not necessarily like a problem that's oppressive, but a problem. Like a deck you need to prepare for and have a plan for and understand the inner working stuff.
I think if you understand him, he becomes much more approachable. And I think he so far feels like the healthiest board state hero we've had so far.
By a lot.
Yeah, I would agree
Low
with
bar
that.
for the record.
Yeah. You look at an Enigma who's just like, yep, I'm going to like 3-card 16U over and over again for the rest of the game.
And then you read Rake the Embers and Tumultai, and then you think that's perfectly fine. And then you read
Yeah.
Luminars, and you're like, oh, this is a terrible idea.
Right.
And then you read Luminar's Angel's Glow combined with Soraya, and then you read Vestige of Soul, and you realize, oh, wait, ALS is free now. Yeah. Okay.
Kyloria.
Dude, why did that card steal items?
I don't know, man. Because
Why
of
did
the
that get
greedy
there?
ass dragon.
It was so stupid.
I used to love giving it copper. That's my favorite thing.
Must be nice. Happy for you. It took my energy potion.
Oh yeah, no. Pesky Kyloria, give that back.
Yeah.
But I would agree. Definitely the healthiest board state hero. Some hoops that he needs to jump through in order to do it, and I feel like that makes it a lot more fair. It's very predictable. There's a certain amount of cards that need to be invested into it. There's a kind of an open source of allies that you can clearly see, and so that it does feel, and they don't block. Yes, that is true. So it does feel very fair.
You have to jump through serious hoops to get allies and get them on the board. It's not just draw the card, do I have Ash?
Yep. You have to play a bunch of underrate cards instead of you know, Scar for Scar or Blaze Headlong.
You didn't
Which
even
is
have,
good though.
Yeah, you just need like 2 Ash engines in that deck and you were off to the races.
Like, you ever just like hit a Dromai and she goes to like 2 health under you and then she plays Scar for Scar out Arsenal and you're like, man, this sucks.
Yep.
I would have been better off like just passing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's weird. I think we've had... So when Zen rotated, he was not a gatekeeper, right?
No. Zen was actually in a really good state when he rotated.
As much as everybody has like trauma and horror stories about New, outside of Guardian, do we think she was a true gatekeeper right now?
No.
No, I thought she was pretty fair.
I've said from
in fact,
day one
I think she was healthy.
She's
for the meta.
disruptive and people hate playing against disruptive decks, but I thought she was pretty well designed. Like,
Yeah.
I really, literally think if Siren's Call didn't exist, I felt like she would have been balanced. Siren's Call is the most uninteractive, unfun card I've ever played against.
And it's so polarizing because when it hits, it's the best card you've ever seen. And when it misses, it's so bad for the New. You want a resource and a card down to do nothing? That's terrible. But anyways, I think that's an interesting spot for having New rotate, right? Because if you would ask me this question 6 months ago, I would have been like, yeah, absolutely. New's a massive gatekeeper. She's one of the most oppressive decks we've seen in a while. But it's kind of weird how it like petered out to where she was just fine.
I think between Shelter from the Storm and Snag, people have like good options that don't cost too much deck building contention. Because even though it's like a blue non-block, it's still blue. Like, you could just take out some other low impact blue and side and Snag, and you feel pretty good.
Also, Felling of the Crown becoming strong was really bad for her. Because her big like power play line of like Codex Leave No Witness or Codex CNC, and I get to get Felling of the Crown back. It's like, I think it's like as the power, like the power cards has gone up, New's kind of hurt because Codex just lets you get those back.
Yeah. And you can't really banish Earth cards into Florian because like the worst thing you could do to your Florian matchup is put him online on like turn 3, and he's just like,
Yeah,
sure, you're doing your thing, but I'm gonna just throw a 1-card 5 into you for the rest of the game.
I had a new hit me with Art of Desire body, the one that like banishes it if it's a blue draw card.
Yeah, Art of Desire body.
She went that. Yeah, she did that. Nick.
Mind.
I don't know the blue.
Yeah,
one.
Nick.
Yeah, she went Nick, and it literally hit like red earth card, yellow root bound, and I instantly was online. I was like, this is the best game ever. I had arcane seeds, and like a blue in my hand. I was like, yes, thank you so much. So
that's free real estate.
That was the freest real estate.
And you can never do the end game thing where you like mill all of Florian's cards, because if the Florian plays right, he just ends his turn with a red on top of his deck, and then it just doesn't work.
That, or if you ended up in the end game state like that, you shouldn't end up in that end game state is the better way to put it, where like you're presenting lethal at that point via tree or fellings, recursion or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that was really bad for New, and I know the new Verdance matchup is not good for Verdance, but you can still get Felling of the Crown as Verdance and just recur that thing off of Codex, and that's good for you.
I know it's playing as both Riptide and Mario that I look at that Earth Hero with their empty arsenal slot, and I look at my Codex and be like, I really don't want to play this Codex.
Yeah, and like versus Gravy, do you really want to give him back Conqueror? Like, is that where you want to be? Is that a good idea? You finally get to go face, and you want to give them back their Conqueror? No.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with Codex plays in this meta. These like gigantic single card power cards, if you give them back to their hero, even though it's at -1 because the frailty token, it's just such a house still.
Yeah, or they block it, and then they're like, sweet, now I have my best card in my deck in my arsenal again. Let's get to work next round.
Yep.
So, I don't know, but we'll see. I am really curious actually about Bravo. I'm curious what his build ends up looking like now.
I want to see what people do with Volda. I want to see like piles of
I want to see what they
seismic
do with her.
surges and what actually happens with that.
I want to see her after Guardian Mastery Pack, because oh boy, that looks spicy. That looks really strong. That she does not feel like a Guardian.
I think Victor is going to be at like a pretty high power level starting literally today.
Yeah, of the Guardians, I think he's the big winner. Like, Jarl gets Glacial Footsteps and Cranial Crush back, and that's it. But Victor actually gets to play all his cards.
Yep. He can put in some higher value blues. He doesn't have to like run 9 Thunk to pad out his blue base or anything weird like that. He got Riches of Trouble Donnie, and now he doesn't have to worry about, there's only 2 other assassins that could possibly do the Bonds of Agony thing and like rip his end game out of his hand. So.
Oh, you're talking about doing the big Cast Homes loop?
Yep. I mean, if you build your deck around that, it's just so consistent. And if the player like plays really scrappy because they don't want you to do that, sometimes you just end up accidentally killing them with a kind of mediocre Cast Homes followed by Golden Sun.
So looking at the stats, and just granted these stats for Victor are going to be lower than most of the other decks. Like if you look at the total share of games played, it's pretty low for him right now, and understandably so. So that means you're probably getting a better quality of player playing those decks because they've been playing that deck for forever. But if you look at it, the bad matchups really are just Kano's a 20%er, KO's a 40%er, New was a 30%er, Verdance is a 25%er.
Yes, Verdance is terrible. KO is really funny because he's decent into other brutes, but he just loses every clash into KO. So
walk me through Victor versus Verdance.
Oh, that matchup's like nigh unwinnable. Like you just
what makes it so bad?
Because she could just block you down, and you don't really have a way to push the game to an end. Like if you're gonna derp around and try to set up your might stack, so couple things. None of your clash cards do anything. Verdicts could just say, I'm just not going to throw attacks at you. And
Interesting.
she could occasionally throw 1 or 2, but you're not throwing an attack every turn. So your test of strength's not good. Your trounce is not good. That's 6 less gold out of your deck, right? That's 6 gold out of your deck that you're not getting. So the Cast Holmes loop is already -6 might tokens from just losing those 3 cards. Like I said, maybe you block with 1 or 2 of them, and that's it. And then on top of that, like, Guardian is really giving her a ton of space to just do her thing, right? Just blocks down, plays efficient, sets out her health pots. Victor has no way of interacting with them.
Yeah, so you just set up the 4 potions now, do quad or triple rampant growth, heartbeat into a waning moon. Is that like the thing? That's just what you do?
I don't even think you need to. Yeah, you don't even need to push it that hard.
Because, like, in my head, I'm looking at the Verdance list currently, and almost all the Verdance lists are on attack actions, right? We're playing, like, Red Fruits, E-Strike, Felling, Plow. What's the other Earth one? Cadaverous Tilling, right? CNC. You're seeing a lot of those types of cards?
Yeah, but
out of the Verdance decks right now? You
just block with them. Just completely deny, like...
Right.
Okay.
I guess I need to play the matchup.
So what's the...
I haven't played it yet.
What's the Victor gonna do with when you get to the end of the game and his deck is just full of... He's got 3 tests of strengths and 3 trounces still sitting in his deck because the Verdance just every turn said... Pass.
I guess you could just dodge most of the physical damage. Okay. I don't know. I still may want to play out a Felling and just hope it doesn't line up with their test of strength hand.
Yeah, or you get unlucky and it lines up with 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one where it's like, all right, well, you only get 1 gold, whatever.
I think Riches of Tropical Donnie is like really good because if you can move through your deck 2 or 3 times, maybe that gets you enough gold to get there before Verdant sets up her combo, but...
Yeah, I think Verdant's combo goes off on, like, turn 12 now.
Yes.
You have enough potions and you can just sit on one of the rampant growths, you play the other one, and then you just, use the hat, do the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Okay, you've talked me into understanding why that matchup is so bad.
It is bad.
I thought it would, like, in my head, I thought it was like, oh, that's like a 40%er. But nope, it's that bad. Okay, cool.
Like, just remember, like, Dash IE was always a pretty good matchup into Guardians for the same reason, except Dash IE's combo is way worse than Verdant's combo.
A little slower, too.
Well, it's a bunch of red non-blocks that cost 2.
That's fair. So you got to bring in the whole go again package. Otherwise, you got problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't. Yeah. Okay. I see it. But yeah, so then Victor's actually pretty interesting. Because I think something else that we're about to see a lot of is Syndra is going to get really good.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Victor is good into Syndra.
Yes. Because if we are about to have Hot Wizard Summer, none of the wizards like Syndra. Like, none of them. Verdance, it's like a straight up fit. It is the most honest 50-50 you have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Kano does not like that matchup, especially with the new dagger. Oh my god, that new dagger is so obnoxious.
Dagger's so cool.
It's so obnoxious for Kane. Dude, why do you get Spell Void? Anyways, so it's like now I think it's like Syndra favored because they can put you on the clock while having Spell Void just up.
Yep.
And that's annoying. And Acilio, that's like his literal worst matchup. Besides Azalea. Those 2 are the actual worst matchups. So, I don't know. That's a good place to be. And then if Victor just sits on her, that's a good place for Victor to be.
I'm excited to play Dash IO in this meta.
Yeah, Dio's going to look great.
Neo is one of my worst matchups. I think Guardian has always been like a skill-based matchup. Back when we had High Octane, but now that we have High Cogtane, it's doable again.
High Cogtane.
Yeah, High Cogtane.
High Cogtane is... I like it. I like that card. Yeah, no, I am Dio curious. Let's put it that way.
Dio curious.
Make it weird.
Oh, I like that. I like that, though. I'm Dio curious. Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so Anyone doing anything coming up this week? I'm missing tomorrow. I've got a prior engagement. I do really want to come and play at Armory. We've got the new gem pack, right? New gem pack's out. I need my full Riptide.
Let's go.
I need it.
I'm playing Acilio in paper until I stop playing Acilio in paper because he's so much fun. And I told myself once Nationals was over, I was only going to play Acilio in paper for like 2 months. So that's what I'm doing.
That's my
I'm
approach.
So excited.
I like to pick up a deck for about 2 to 3 months and like really push it and try to master it.
Yeah. I think like if I'm online and I'm playing on my own, I'm going to play Gravy, but just to like work on that for other people. But Acilio's so fun.
You going to bring Marlin Armory, Noah?
I mean, either that or enjoy the last few minutes I have with Azalea, which is basically just better Marlin.
Ooh, you want to talk about someone I'm excited to leave?
Yes. Yeah, it's funny because I think the meta shifts more with Azalea leaving than new.
I agree.
Yes.
I think Azalea going changes things drastically.
We'll have to see. There's always a chance she just doesn't squeak any nats out. I think it's pretty low, but there's always a chance.
Tough one. Azalea has been in both top 8s, and I think it only gets better in a sense. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think New's really gatekeeping her, but I feel like Azalea just finds a way. That deck just rolls hot, and it's just so hard to stop sometimes. I mean, 16 disruption's crazy.
It's favored into both Earth heroes, and that just blew my mind. I didn't realize it was that favored.
I mean, we saw the playtest.
We knew that internally,
but
like,
around.
Yeah, she dunks Verdants.
Yeah.
And then, Florian's like, your cards have to kind of line up to her cards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to see like your disruption and your D-reacts at the right time and hope you find the right version.
Okay.
God.
Well,
I can't wait.
I'm done for the week. This was a pretty short week for us, considering that we recorded only like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
but there was still big news. I mean, this is a big shakeup. Yeah.
That's why I definitely wanted to record today, because new leaving's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Somebody in Canada, please LL Azalea this weekend. Do us all be the hero we need, not the one we deserve.
Then next week we're going to have a lot to talk about because it's going to be a whole new meta. I mean, there's going to be quite a few new faces popping around, and we're going to see some things. What is our next kind of major thing going on where these? I mean, there's other nationals. I assume we're going to see the ripples of this, but the next big event that we're going to see the ripples.
We have Singapore is the big event coming up. Worlds and Phillies later this year. For like smaller events, we have a skirmish season coming up that's going to be a mixture of Blitz and Living Legend. And then we have we have ProQuest, right? And we don't know exactly what the ProQuest format could be because they seem to really be pushing Living Legend. It could be a mixture of CC, Limited, and Living Legend. Who knows?
That's the other thing. I have played 12 games of Icelander between yesterday and today. And I feel I've never been more cozy.
That deck is super fun in Living Legend.
It's so fun. I feel right at home. I've realized I'm not a wizard gamer. I'm a waning moon gamer. And that has been eye-opening. Anyways. But yeah, the big event coming up would be Singapore.
So I guess we're going to see there kind of, I mean, if Azalea is LL by then, we'll see some crazy shakeups.
No way she makes it to Singapore.
How many points has she had exactly?
She's at
like
931. Right? She has to win 2 large nationals.
So I need some Canadian. I need one person in like Denmark to do it. And then I need Trinidad and Tobago. And that gets us there.
Well, good luck, Azalea mains. I like
they're out there.
Nothing but the best.
Yeah,
never wished you any better.
Taking Death Dealer with you would be pretty crazy. And then I might move to Marlin or back to Dory. I mean, I don't necessarily want to.
I'm gonna send you that Riptide list.
I'll take a look at Riptide.
Oh, the Red Spine one.
Yeah,
Dory's a good play into. Dory's a good play into Gravy, so it lets me at least enjoy that matchup. But I don't think it's the only way to beat Gravy.
No, it is not the only way to beat Gravy.
Gravy
he is strong, but he's
Gravy
not
has like a 15% win rate into Dawnblade Dory. It's pretty.
I think Ira might be his worst matchup.
Oh, dude, I was watching games of Ira versus Gravy last night, and I was cackling. It's so bad.
It's horrendous.
Is it just Ira's value and her blockability, or like?
Dude,
So your good allies come at 1 health, 2 health, and 3 health, right?
Oh,
Or
okay,
Chum
she
at
can
6
just
health.
Obliterate.
Yes. It's literally all the perfect numbers for her.
imagine, if you will, that you swing a Kadachi into Gravy Bones, and he goes, in response, activate Chum, and then you just go, Whirling Mist Blossom, draw 2 cards. Whirling Mist Blossom, draw 2 cards. Whirling Mist Blossom, draw 3 cards. And you go, look at all of my cards, and your Chum is dead, and you have 3 cards in hand. Would you like to die now? Now, I know that, like, will never come up. You'll probably never draw all 3 Whirling Mist Blossoms in your hand, but you can, and you do. It's a long game, so you draw all 3 of them, and they're all coming in and hitting a minion, guaranteed drawing you cards and killing the minion. Like,
And even if you don't play Whirling Mist Blossom, which, by the way, if you just want to make the 90% matchup a 99% matchup, play Whirling Mist Blossom. Like, Morty is supposed to be annoying because he has 1 health. All right, well, Kadachi for 1. We just start the chain off killing Morty. Can't protect it, can't do anything about it. Sucks for you. All right? Okay, Sawbones. Sawbones is really good, right? Okay, well, I just go Kadachi for 1 into Sawbones, and then I go Kadachi for 2 into Sawbones, and now he's dead. Even through his stupid effect. Right? And then rinse repeat for Anka. Chum is like, you do your like go again stuff, and then you just end your chain on your 2 for 6 into Chum, and you're like, whatever, who cares?
like, there's just more. Because you could go, like, Kadachi for 1 into Limpet, and then you go looking for a Scrap It for 6, go again into Chum, and then
Yeah, like, it's
you
just
still
so
have-
much.
Dude, it's like we were blocking down to like 2 cards in hand, clearing his whole board, and still dealing like 4 damage to the poor Gravy. Like,
Yeah, and then it's like, sometimes like when Ira would hit me, I'd be like, sweet, I don't care about your mass drop. But now you care about her mass drop because she plays a bunch of go cards in you, and you cry.
yep. Oh man, I can
Anyways.
talk about those games all day. They're so funny to watch. Poor Gravy. He does have some polarizing matchups, but
Yeah, he is really strong, but man, he has some problems.
It's
which
good
is
though.
exciting.
Gotta have some.
People
Yeah,
have
that's
stuff to
some
solve.
problems.
People have stuff to solve.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We don't want them to be insulated and all that stuff. Need to have your problem mashups. If nobody has anything else though, and then taking us out, Thomas, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at What the System Fab on Twitter, What the System on Discord.
Justin?
You can find me at J_EVS5 on Twitter, Jevzo5 everywhere else.
All right. And then you can find me at BigMaxFab on Twitter, at BigMax on Blue Sky, BigMax on Discord, and Kraken Packs every day on the channel. If nobody has anything else, thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, subscribe or follow, depending on where you found us, to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. And remember, we are all siblings in cardboard. And now, just because new LL doesn't mean you don't get to read your cards. Don't know why those two things are correlated, but let's just assume they are. All right, a new meta doesn't mean a new opportunity to not read your cards. Reading the card explains the cards, and then you just do your triggers.
You no longer have to remember to flip your chi.
Look at that. You don't even have to DG anymore. No more DG. Look, we took one away. So now it's just read the cards. One less thing. Take care.